Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss the relationships in a current transformer. Okay, so before moving towards the actual topic, we are going to discuss the burden of an instrument transformer. Okay, because this is the important point. Burden of an instrument transformer. Burden of an instrument transformer. Okay, so the burden of an instrument transformer is nothing but we are having two types: total secondary winding burden, okay, or the secondary winding burden due to load. Okay, so total secondary winding burden is nothing but total secondary winding burden, okay, is equal to secondary winding induced voltage, secondary winding induced voltage, okay, it's a square divided by secondary winding induced voltage square divided by impedance of secondary winding circuit including impedance of secondary winding divided by impedance of secondary winding circuit including impedance of secondary winding, impedance of secondary winding. Okay, this is we are having the total secondary winding burden, okay, or it is expressed in terms of I square into Z also, which is equal to secondary winding current square secondary winding current square, okay, into yes impedance of secondary winding circuit including impedance of secondary winding, impedance of secondary winding circuit, okay, including impedance of secondary winding. Okay, this is about the total secondary winding burden. Next, secondary winding burden due to load. Okay, secondary winding burden due to load. Secondary winding burden due to load is equal to, yes, here instead of including impedance of secondary winding, so in this secondary winding burden due to load, okay, the change is yes impedance of secondary winding circuit only we need to consider, okay, need not to include the impedance of the secondary winding. Okay, so here secondary winding burden due to load is nothing but secondary winding induced voltage square, secondary winding induced voltage square divided by impedance of load on secondary winding, impedance of load on secondary winding means only the load impedance we need to consider. Okay, also again it can be represented in terms of current, so secondary winding current square into yes impedance of load on secondary winding, impedance of load on secondary winding. Okay, so friends, this is about the burden of an instrument transformer. Next, coming towards the main topic, that is the relationships in a current transformer. Okay, so as we have discussed the current transformer, it is connected in series with a load. because its function is to reduce the strength of the current. Okay, so whatever the high current is there, it is required to flow through the primary winding of the CT. Okay, and next we are having the secondary. Okay, and here it is the ammeter, right? So this is the load. Here we are having the supply, right? And here it is a CT, current transformer. Okay, now as this is the transformer, okay, as this is the transformer, consider this current is IP, consider this current is IS. Okay, so in order to find the relationships, that is the phase angle between the various phasors, okay, magnitudes of various phasors, okay, that is nothing but the relationships. We need to draw the equivalent circuit of a CT. It is just like a equivalent circuit of transformer. Okay, so we need to recall the equivalent circuit of transformer, equivalent circuit of transformer. Okay, so here just like a transformer, in the equivalent circuit of a CT we are having a primary circuit. At the primary side we are having a resistance, reactance, magnetizing reactance, the core loss component, okay. So this is the primary voltage VP we are having. This current is IP, here it is RP, XP, no load current I0, core loss component current IE, core loss component resistance RC, XM, magnetizing reactance, magnetizing current IM. Okay, and here induced voltage is EP. Okay, this induced voltage is EP, primary winding induced voltage, right? Next, let us draw the secondary side. Secondary winding resistance is RS, reactance is XS, external resistance, that it may be due to the load or any other circuitry which we are going to connect at the secondary side. Okay, so this is a RE, here it is XE, XS, RS. Okay, this induced voltage here is ES. Okay, and here the terminal voltage we are having Vs. Okay, and this current is Is. Here current is IP. Okay, so here it is IP, right? Next, so this is the equivalent circuit of a CT, which is same as that of your transformer, and here we are having the flux phi m, that is the magnetizing. Okay, so this is the equivalent circuit of CT. So where N is equal to turns ratio, we have already discussed, it is a turns ratio, which is equal to number of secondary winding turns to the primary winding turns. Okay, number of secondary winding turns divided by number of primary winding turns, number of primary winding turns. Okay, next, this is the N. Turns ratio is equal to number of secondary winding turns divided by number of primary winding turns. Okay, RS is the resistance of secondary winding. RS is resistance of secondary winding, right? Next, XS is the reactance of secondary winding. Reactance of secondary winding. Okay, so here we are having RES and XS, right? Next, RE is the resistance of external burden. Resistance of external burden, that is nothing but the resistance of meters, okay, current coils, etc. Okay. Next, XE is the reactance of external burden. XE is the reactance of external burden. Okay, that is the XE. Next, EP, it is the primary winding induced voltage. EP is the primary winding induced voltage. Okay. ES is the secondary winding induced voltage. ES is the secondary winding induced voltage, right? Next, we are having NP, number of primary winding turns. Number of primary winding turns, that is the NP. NS is the number of secondary winding turns. Okay, that is the NS. VS is the voltage at secondary winding terminals. Okay, voltage at secondary winding terminals. Secondary winding terminals, right? Next, ES is the induced voltage and VS is the terminal voltage. Okay, IS is the secondary winding current. Secondary winding current. Okay. Next, IP is the primary current or the primary winding current. Primary winding current, that is the IP. Next, we are having theta is the phase angle of transformer. Phase angle of transformer. What is theta, that you will understand, okay, after drawing the phasor diagram. Next, phi is the working flux of transformer. Phi is a working flux of transformer. Next, del is the angle between secondary winding induced voltage and secondary winding current. Angle between secondary winding induced voltage, that is ES, okay, and secondary winding current, that is IS. Okay, angle between ES and IS, that is the del. Okay. Next, which can be written as is equal to tan inverse of, yes, we are having XS plus XE. If you check the secondary side, you will understand, divided by RS plus RE. Okay. If you check here at the secondary side, angle between ES and IS is nothing but, yes, RS plus RE, and here it is XS plus XE. XS plus XE is the reactance, RS plus RE is the resistance. So it is tan inverse of XS plus XE upon RS plus RE. That is the del. Okay. Next, the phase angle of secondary winding. Okay. Delta, phase angle of secondary winding. Load circuit, that is nothing but it is angle between VS and IS. Okay, so which is equal to tan inverse of XE by RE. okay, because this is only angle between Vs and Is. Okay, I0, it is the exciting current, that is the no load current. Okay, Im, it is the magnetizing current or the magnetizing component of exciting current. Anything you can say, magnetizing component of exciting current I0. Okay, IE, IE is a loss component of exciting current I0. Alpha is the angle between I0 and phi. Angle between I0 and phi. Okay, so these are the terms associated with the equivalent circuit of the current transformer and the phasor diagram of a current transformer. Right, now we are going to draw the phasor diagram of a current transformer. Okay, it is again similar to that of a transformer. Okay, so first of all we are having the flux phi phasor and Im phasor. So this is the phasor for Im and here it is a phasor for flux phi. Okay, here Im is the magnetizing component of the no load current I0 or the exciting current I0. Basically Im is required to produce the flux, so that's why Im and phi will be in phase. Okay, next, the induced voltage in the transformer primary is EP. Okay, induced voltage in the transformer primary is a EP. Okay, so suppose this is the EP. This is the EP, which is equal to Vp. Right, next, due to this flux the EMF will be induced into the secondary winding. Okay, and that EMF will be lagging by angle 90 degree to flux phi. Okay, so here we will be having a phasor for ES, induced EMF in the at the secondary side. Okay, next, suppose as here the here secondary winding impedance is a inductive. Okay, we are having resistance, reactance. Okay, so definitely Vs will lag to Es by some angle. Okay, next, so here we can draw the phasor for Vs. Okay, Vs will be lagging to Es by some angle. Okay, so phasor for Vs, suppose this is the phasor for Vs. So this is the Vs phasor. Okay, next, what about the angle between Vs and Is, or the angle between Es and Is? Definitely Is will be lagging because, as I said, it is having a inductive burden at the secondary side. Okay, equivalent is inductive, so that's why Is will lag. Okay, suppose this is the phasor for Is. Okay, so angle between Vs and Is is delta. Okay, and this angle is del. Right, next, so similar to the Is at the primary side, the transformer draws a current N into Is. Okay, N into Is. It will be completely in phase opposition to Is. Okay, so this is the N into Is we are having. Right, next, transformer draws the current I0 to fulfill the no load losses. Okay, So here we will be having the I0 phasor for I0. It will be like this. This is the I0. Okay. Next, phasor addition of NIS and I0 is nothing but IP. Okay, so here we are having the phasor for IP. Okay, IP phasor. That is the primary current, right? This angle is alpha. Okay, this angle is theta. Okay, and this angle is delta. We already defined. Okay, next. So here it will be having Im. Okay, and here we will be having IE. Right. Next, in addition to Vs, right, we will be having the drops across RS and XS. Okay, so it will be like drop across RS, it will be in phase with the IS. Okay, so in parallel to RS we need to draw. So it is like this. Okay, this is IS into RS, and perpendicular to this is that will be your drop across XS. Okay, this angle is 90 degree and it is IS into XS. Okay, so ES is equal to VS plus ISRS plus J into IS into XS. Okay, so this is the simple phasor diagram of a CT. Please try to understand the terms. Im is the magnetizing current, phi is the flux which is produced due to the magnetizing current. Okay, next, no load or the exciting current is having two components. One is the Im, okay, and second one is the IE. IE is the quadrature component. Okay, it is a loss component and it is a lossless component. Okay, next, due to the flux phi, the EMF will be induced at the secondary side, so that will be ES. Okay, Vs will be lagging to ES by some angle. Okay, next, angle between IS and Vs is delta. Okay, and angle between IS and ES is del. Next, Vs plus ISRS plus IS into XS is nothing but ES. Similar to the IS, at the opposite side, at the primary side, the transformer draws the current N into IS. Okay, if you check this angle between IS and NIS, it is equal to 180 degree. Okay, so next, NIS plus I0 is nothing but IP. Okay, angle between NIS, okay, and EP or IE is equal to delta. Okay, angle between NIS IP is theta, and angle between I0 and Im or phi is alpha. Okay, so this is about the relationships in a current transformer. In the next video we are going to discuss in continuation, that is the by using some part of this phasor diagram. Okay, we are going to derive the expression for transformation ratio of a current transformer. Thank you.